And then there was one match left. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here for rapha versus dramis in a few short moments here on the Quake Pro League of Stage 2. My name is Zoot, joined by Lethal as we've been taking you through the show today. And now that we've managed to rest after the Maestro, extraordinaire, Wenger and Razy, we've got to compose ourselves for rapha and dramis. How do we set ourselves up for this?
It's a difficult one. After that last series, there was one frag between them. It's going to be hard to make up. But rapha, the god that he is, legend status, the amount of events he's won in the past leading up to now, it's going to be a tall order for dramis here.
Yeah, it's not beating around the bush whatsoever. No, despite how well dramis has been playing recently, he's been someone who's been leaps and bounds, strides, all the jazz. It's getting late now, guys. Sorry. His improvement's been brilliant, but is it brilliant enough to go against what is the god that is rapha? Dramis usually strives on high mobility-based champions where he can inflict some of his pretty wacky aim onto people. And he's now recently been developing a far more of a control-based approach at the game so that he's hitting all those different angles of Quake Duel that you need in order to be at the highest possible level.
You got to remember, dramis had a very close series against Dahang last time round, so can he even replicate it against rapha?
That's
possible. Another question.
I mean, rapha, he didn't have a great Luca. He went down in his first match versus Cypher, so I mean he's been winning his game so far, so it's tough to tell where he is. Dramis has been looking very well prepared, but the Professor is here in front of us. As Lethal has already said, the amount of accolades this man has to his name, I mean, it would be for a pretty weighted necklace of medals. This guy's got pretty much everything he needs, and it's his ferocious intelligence in the game that I think gets him where he wants. And now also combined with the insane mechanical skills that he's been developing even more in the last 2 to 3 years, it is very difficult to get any W's versus this guy. So the test is now, dramis.
That's right, rapha has all the pieces to the puzzle at his arsenal. But, I think rapha can't underestimate dramis. He's probably seen the last series against Dahang. They've probably
100%.
spoken about it as well because it was only last week. What can he do here?
Yeah, exactly. And with dramis, it's not easy at all to tell what he's going to do. Guys, we've got some picks and bans that we can take a look at now and see what's on the card. So we have a slash straight away. And of course, dramis is never someone who's going to ban out the slash because it's a champion that he loves playing himself so much. But now, rapha picks it in the first map, so he's now going to have to counter that champion himself, and he's choosing Saw-like to do that. Straight into the next map, another light champion, which we also have on the third map for rapha, with the Anarchy, going versus a Ranger. Some burst DPS there can be really good for dramis. And then Visor also versus the Nyx. Give me your thoughts, and if you want, some predictions.
I can do. Now, this could be potentially the first 3-0 we have of the evening. The only way it can't be is with dramis and his first map pick being Ruins of Sarnath. It is definitely one of his best maps from what we've seen in previous weeks as well as previous stages, and he needs to get out the gate now in this first map, or it could just be a clean sweep for rapha here. Wouldn't be too much of a surprise.
So you said this could be our first 3-0. Do you think it will be our first 3-0?
I don't want it to be. My heart says no, but my brain says yes right now.
We've had, not 7, because unfortunately Genic and Effortless have been postponed, but we've had 6 2-1s. That's a lot of 2-1s.
Yeah.
Surely no matter what the series is now, like law of averages, we've got to get a 3-0 somewhere.
Surely we should get at least one
yeah.
at this point. It might be the final one of the night. But like I mentioned earlier, how well dramis played against Dahang. But then again, Dahang and rapha have probably spoke about it and decided exactly what is best to counter how dramis plays. And rapha, we know what it's like, got a very strong work ethic, especially with Quake. And I feel like he will study him a lot now, and they will try and get that clean sweep going to try and increase his points on the global rankings.
Definitely. Well, I know I braved it going Basil win versus Kelson and somehow fluked that prediction, but you know what? I can't predict it now with dramis, but I reckon he could win a map, actually. I think it won't be a 3-0. I think dramis has been performing at a high level, and rapha's usually the last person you expect to kind of to lose discipline for a second, but maybe something's going to slip past the nets.
If there's any map, I feel like dramis will maybe take this one, his first map pick. I was heading to map number 1, and already dramis has a nice stack to go ahead with here. The heavy is still up, has delayed it enough, and finally gets to pick it up.
Easy heavy. Ooh, nice little pick with the rail. dramis does get a bit of damage with the acid, but the health bubble is picked up along the way. Another push in. Lightning gun not looking too bad, but got to watch out for those rockets. He moves in with the LG. dramis on a couple of points of health. And those couple of points are gone as first blood is spilled within the first 40 seconds.
Makes a nice attempt there, but Rapha decides to not go for the Mega, which is understandable. Leaves it to dramis to pick up there, as he's going to stick to that heavy. But I was waiting to see if his movement will actually push that way, but it won't be the case. Rapha got a nice rocket on board, decides to push away anyway. But what will dramis do here? Will he try an attack round? But it has got that low ground, and Rapha right now is trying to look everywhere for dramis to try and keep him being sanctioned. But as I say that, nice second frag for Rapha here, as he just barely manages to stay alive.
That was really close from dramis. In fact, he did tons of damage. We've got that heavy coming up next. dramis has picked up the lightning gun and rail, I think. So he might be able to find an avenue into this. And it's the type of game with these champions that are so mobile that it can be very high scoring. 2-0 means nothing for the moment. It's going to be what happens towards minute 7, 8. Then we can really see what the picture looks like. Unless, of course, Rapha just, stomps away. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Good rail.
Yeah, it is Rapha after all. But so far, dramis is keeping him at bay, making sure... Oh, I didn't say that. He pushes straight in, but survives on 47 HP and gets that Mega to help him. It's very straightforward. Barely misses that rail, but decides to push in anyway. We're about to take him down. It'll be unlikely, and no, he doesn't. Left on 22 HP as he knocks down a little bit more, as it will get those orbs.
Again, dramis getting him low, but not able to cross the finishing line with this. Rocket, not bad, but no further momentum. 5 seconds or so until the major items are up. Now I think dramis is going to cut his losses here, go for the heavy, and then try and recuperate a little bit. Frag difference is not out of control whatsoever, so he can still have a stab a couple of different ways to get past the line of defense that Rapha has.
And the only problem now with Rapha's slash, if he's even a bit of a bad predicament, he can easily get away here from dramis. But nice LG as he slides away. And expects him to go for that Mega on the other side, but we will know now that dramis is trying to push him, but LG decides to drop down anyway. Was at a slight advantage, but Rapha gets that next Mega and stacks back up a little bit once again as dramis picks up that heavy.
Now, dramis has been consistently going for the heavy armor. I'd like to see him try and split it off a little bit. If he does get any good damage onto Rapha, can he switch up his control?
Definitely going to try here, keeping him back as much as he can. The Mega's not up for another 5 seconds. But what's he going to do? He's going to have to let him get it, and he will.
If he could hit some kind of initial damage, he possibly would have changed his mind and gone in further, but that wasn't the case. LG versus Rockets. Rapha has very little in the way of armor. He's trying to push away, find the lower light. dramis missing the shot that he's looking for, but there is a bit of acid spit. It's not bad damage at all from dramis. The acid could get the kill, but it's going to be the rail instead. However, dramis is so weak. He needs some HP from somewhere.
I was a little bit worried there for dramis at one stage. I thought he was going to miss that last rail, but doesn't anyway. But will he be able to get away from the scenario? I'd be very surprised if he does, as Rapha's going straight in and does get that full frag on the board.
And now he's got heavy to work with too. dramis will clean up Mega health. Does need some weaponry on top. And the little rail will just quickly catch him from behind.
This could be a big kill game here for Rapha if dramis doesn't let it get out of control here, as Rapha will be waiting for the next heavy to see if dramis will contest fit, which he won't. He will let him get it, of course. Wasn't really in a fit state to try and push in for that, but now sees he's going for the Mega. The engagement will start. Will he be able to take him down? Gets a lot of damage done. Both of them on similar stacks here, but decides to go in anyway. The LGs are coming through, and dramis gets the upper hand. in that engagement.
So the problem for dramis is every time he gets a kill, he's left so low, and he's got to try and make these recoveries. It's a brilliant rocket from him off the spawn. However, with a stack, maybe he can fight back a little more. He just needs to watch out that these follow-up fights, he has more than 10 health remaining.
He does, but look at the spot rapha's in now, and dramis, great rail shot from him. But he's going for the chase to see what he can do. Jumps in the perfect spot, but rapha's going to have the opportunity and the positional advantage to get away. Will he expect him to go through? He does. He's gone through anyway. rapha gone from behind. And that heavy is coming up, surely. I'm sure rapha will know that. But as I say that, the rail comes in for dramis. I've been loving his rail so far.
He has had some great rounds. He's set up a little trap too. This is going to be another kill, and this is a very valuable frag. He's managed to get it with, well, the majority of his stack remaining. He's probably going to give up the mega health, but there's some improvements he can make here. First rocket misses, follow-up also misses. This is a problem for him. He does hit a rail. He tries to dart behind the corner, but Solak is so big. rapha finds the extra angle. I think dramis should continue the aggression though. Done so much to him, straight away going for the refrag. Only 2 behind. dramis is actually playing a pretty solid game right now.
He definitely is. dramis only lost that last fight earlier because he pretty much straight lined into rapha's LG, but look at this go. Will he better take it out? What a rail there from dramis. This is his perfect opportunity. The mega is up. He managed to grab that. We'll try and go for a little bit of if we can. And what a rail. Continuously putting pressure on rapha. And there's definitely a different side of dramis, which I'm loving at so far.
He might be able to tie it up in a second. He's looking in great shape. rapha's stuck, and that's going to be one more. We're tied up here between rapha and dramis. Heavy's going to be up in a second. He's checking the spawns, not overcommitting to anything. This is very disciplined, sensible play from dramis. Really showing the improvement in his level as of late.
He really has. He's making matters worse for rapha. Has got an okay stack before that rocket, but he managed to get that rail on board. And will he be able to finish him off? Yes, he does. dramis in the lead now by that 1 frag.
What has happened to dramis? He's playing out of his skin.
He's a changed man.
He is a changed man. Drops with a not bad rocket. There's a good combo. He's going to have to back away and get himself onto the heavy fast. Little bit precarious for dramis there. But it's still 2.5 minutes to go. It's too soon for him to play defensively. He's got to continue challenging that control. Great rail. The LG pick's nice. Oh, the flick!
dramis is definitely on form today. And I said it before, he needs to come out the gate strong on this first map, especially on this map pick. Definitely one of his better maps, so to speak. And I love how he's trying to put the pressure on that heavy. Doesn't get it, but shows his presence, putting the pressure on rapha as he will get this next mega.
Stopwatch.
A light would make him feel nice and warm inside. Wow, he hits the mid-air, I'm pretty sure. This light's now spawned, so dramis' stack looks immense. He's looking to convert another kill in the moment. There's going to be just over 5 seconds till heavy. If he can get position on this, keep rapha away, almost landing the rail. It's a man possessed. And he's looking to go for the frag instead of overcommitting to the item. Again, not going for simple ABC, but trying to add some complexity, add some dynamism to his plays. And he gets the rail afterwards, so even though Mega Health was taken, the punish is in. And he's got to make sure now it's no errors. Do not overcommit to a fight. Make sure the right weapons are out. Stick to the fundamentals at this stage.
But what I love, there's only 1:10 left, but he's keeping the pressure on rapha at all times. Even with the advantage and map control he's got here, he knows that it's only a short amount of time away with that 1 minute remaining now coming into play. And look how stacked dramis is now. He can go in for the kill, but it does take a little bit of damage from there. He's going to try and keep him at bay as much as he can, and will get more damage off. And just not giving rapha any kind of room to make some kind of advantageous engagement here. And as I say that, we'll try and push in, but we'll keep back for now.
Strong defensive play from dramis, not overcommitting. He's got an escape route. He's found rapha on the exit, who misses the rail shot. Still pushing with the LG and in time for the heavy. Very high level play again from dramis. And that, I think, to me, that looks like enough. We've still got 20 seconds to go, so there's certainly a world out there where rapha can come back. But dramis' play has been at such a high level on Ruins. Now he's going to be getting himself a map on the board.
He will, yeah. 10 seconds left remaining. There's only so much Rapha can do. They may get a frag on the board, and that's about it. May take him out. Only 3 seconds left remaining, and I feel like he knows it as well.
GG. Dramis getting that victory. 1 frag advantage at the end. I think it's 8-7 as we can see there. Control very tightly contested through that. Damage is actually, what, 12 off each other? And when you're going versus a heavy champion like a Sorlak, you generally need to be doing a little more. So Dramis' damage over the course of that was phenomenal. What a game from him.
And he didn't even transition his playstyle. That is the Dramis I'd love to see day in, day out in every series. And before, it's very easy to have a huge stack and have the map control, but kind of be a bit more cautious and wary in a lot of different scenarios. But he didn't care. He had no fear. He made sure to keep Rapha on his toes because he knows what he's like as a player. The clutch factor he does actually have. But Dramis impressed by him so far massively.
So Dramis was a player that this year he's admitted himself that he can kind of psych himself out sometimes, and that he can have those moments of just nervousness that stop him from playing at the peak level all the time in a series. I feel like he's been getting over that hurdle a lot. He's been picking up a lot of experience versus these high-level players. He's been doing brilliantly on LAN. I think he's been turning over a new leaf. This is one of the most improved players that I've seen in the Quake Pro League, and he's fighting with the big dogs. If you're fighting with Rapha and Dahang like that, you're fighting with everyone in the world like that.
Kind of like an EU base in terms of how much he's improved.
Do you think so? I'd say even more so. I would say like Wenger from 2017 to 2019 in that kind of sense.
I can agree with you on that one.
And maybe not the same timeline, but this is a guy with a wealth of history in FPS, and he's been just these crazy improvements when we're seeing, these previous tournaments back in 2017 and 18, and to now, Dramis going to be picking up some fans, that is for sure. But we're not done, because we got more maps, of course. Is Rapha going to come back, or is Dramis going to take a series with another map win? Where are we at map-wise? We're on Corrupted Keep, I think.
Yes, and it's going to be quite a tough one now. We know how good Dramis is, and that explains a lot during that first map. He has the ingredients. He's just going to keep showing it and put that pressure on. And he did throughout the whole course of that map. And I said it earlier, it's very easy to be cautious and then not play your own game and then transition to that defensive style. But he just didn't. He just kept it on constantly throughout the whole entire map.
It was especially at the beginning when Rapha had a great start and quickly got 3 kills. A lot of people go, oh, I'm just lost 3 kills against Rapha.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. And maybe people were expecting that at home too. But, I mean, he kept his head in the game, and that's what's important, to not lose focus. Now we've got Corrupted Keep. We've got Ranger going versus Anarchy. Can Dramis do it again, or is the Professor going to teach us a lesson?
He could teach him a lesson here as we go straight into map number 2. We'll try and bait out that Mega from it as we go for the LG to put the rocket across us to keep him away from that pickup, but he has the weapons in his arsenal now. So what can Dramis do here?
Well, injection ready whenever, but with that Mega Stack, not going to need it straight away. And just being very patient. Dramis knows if he can get that burst damage, things look good for him. But Rapha had a good read, doesn't overstep the mark. And we've got some big items coming up. He is going to use that orb. Rocket's not looking too bad at all. Injection force out. And a big shotgun blast, actually. He looks for another one. And Rapha is forced onto the smaller items on the map immediately.
My goodness, Rapha is in trouble here. I didn't think I'd say that line during this series, but then again, as I say that, Dramis took a little bit of damage there. But will Dramis get that first frag on the board? The rocket does put him off a little bit more. But it's just trying to find that angle. But Dramis is so weak. Finally gets taken down. Gave Rapha a lot of trouble there. But finally, that first frag does go on the board in favour.
It's pretty cheeky of Dramis not going through that teleporter for a while, looking for that sort of follow-up damage. I like that kind of thought, because if he goes up through the telly, he probably doesn't have a way of escape. And it's harder for him to get that damage in return. But you know what? He dropped behind early on in Ruins. So who knows still what is left to happen. That hurts.
Say that now. Yeah, a bit of damage has been taken down for Dramis. Gonna try and get away what he can, try and restack if possible. And he's looking to go for that heavy, but Rapha's waiting straight for him. Maybe able to technically burn it, but goes straight for the telly again to try and throw Rapha off guard. Isn't the case. He's all over him at this point. And he's found him on spawn. Does he know over? Yes, he does. But he's going to drop down from him. Of course he will with that LG. Switches back, but then again lets him get away. And the stacks again quite similar. But the LG from rapha here has been phenomenal. And just barely again, dramis getting away once more. Will he be able to? Look, the sliver of health, like about 10 HP. And rapha again with that mega. And will he get that heavy? Whoa. Yes, he will. He is stacked just a little bit, and we'll be looking for that spawn on dramis.
He's just rushing his way through to get himself lightning, and he needs some kind of weaponry that he can get any kind of chip off. Fortunately, that's not going to work. He will get a respawn to see where he can reset on weapons and items. Rocket's hitting a little bit, but he has committed quite hard. The rockets are decent. He might get himself a kill here. He somehow locks it down. They'll be heavy up in a second. dramis is on the map. He invested his life into this, a couple of lives into it, in fact. And now he's starting to get rewarded, but with this, you've got to increase your chances as much as you can.
It was a very risky engagement. To be honest, I feel like he should not have won that anyway. It's done dividends here. dramis with a slightly better stack will be finding him, but rapha will find him first. He's trying to get some shots down, some great shots from him. Oh, and what an all there!
Stopwatch.
My goodness, from dramis.
That was gruesome. That was absolutely gruesome. But it all works out for him. His ammunition looks good. Stack looks good. rapha doesn't have injection available.
Seems like he will be keeping it bay for the time being, but dramis gets a lot of work done. The amount of health rapha's on, it's not looking too good. Managed to get a slight rocket off, but dramis is being very patient here. As the engagement will fight once again, but will he be able to get him? Yes, he does. Wow. 17 HP. Will he go for that heavy though? I'm sure he will.
Has to, yeah.
Because he has no choice here, yeah.
Well, that's suddenly a one frag game. We're not even halfway in, and Comeback City is the name of the place. And he's doing a great job with these side weapons. rapha's so weak, he's forced to use the injection. Now he's kind of stuck down here. The light armor is picked up, but he has to rocket jump up to not take extra damage.
And now dramis has the orb again. He's going to go straight through as he see if he can get him at a different angle. No, he won't. Sadly,
This is amazing discipline from dramis. 6 months ago, he would have overcommitted to these fights and missed out on items. Now he's really locking down his priorities and ensuring that rapha isn't going to get the sidestep in onto major items. This is a big improvement from dramis. He's going to get himself another kill. That's going to tie things up. He has the mega health now to work with, and he's well on his way towards the heavy armor, still 5 seconds away.
It's like we're watching a different player here, and he's timing the megas perfectly after each engagement to then stack back up again afterwards. But so far, so good. rapha's having a little bit of trouble here.
I don't want to... Oh, hold in a second. Is he going to hold on to this? I think there maybe was a mistiming on the heavy. There's a missed chance there, but if he's got an alternative plan... So, players don't always go towards the items like that. He gets some burst damage out, but this allows rapha to get himself into control a little bit at least.
Yeah, we will give him a little bit of leadway here, but as we say that rapha, again, catch him off guard on spawn. In front by 2 frags. Now he's going to try and catch him off again. Great shots from rapha, keeping him at bay. Deciding to see if he will go for the telly, which he won't. But look at this now. dramis has to be seriously careful here not to let things get out of hand.
He knows he's there. So hello, well, am I going to connect a shot? He has to use the rocket to jump up, getting himself a little bit more. Steals away the light armor, and if rapha gets himself heavy, he is in a pretty much unstoppable spot. Oh my god, the damage has been done by dramis! How did he win that? He doesn't know that heavy wasn't taken though, so rapha spawns with a big stack advantage. But that's still mental work from dramis. Does some good damage, gets rid of that control, back to a sort of level playing field. It's just as if an injection was used.
And dramis still has plenty of time. He's still got 3.5 minutes to sort himself out and get some kind of comeback going. But as I say that, the orb will come through. It will be faked out. Doesn't affect rapha in any way. And as a taken down, heavy to complement things further. It's not looking too good for dramis here.
That was the lack of exact heavy timing. He knows that heavy's meant to spawn around that time, but he doesn't know exactly. So that's the point where if you don't have that exact timing, can you justify playing that close to the item? We've seen seriously high-level plays from dramis, but he can't let these little uncertainties eke in too far. Good HMG frag there from rapha. He's starting to build up a little bit of distance on this score-wise. There's time for a comeback, but timing errors have got to be totally removed now from dramis because the rest of his game has been borderline perfect.
And it's going to depend on how much health dramis has after each engagement. As we can see here, it's making matters worse. But then again, rapha is only on 77 HP. dramis is on a reasonable stack of his own. Knows exactly where he is. As dramis now is just trying to get away and build up his weapon arsenal once again.
dramis looking for exit damage. Well, surely? There's no exit damage? I don't think he knew where rapha was. I think it's the heavy timing that's plaguing him at the moment. Going to have to back his way out of there. HMG might be a concern. He's got 2 health bubbles to work with, but he can't quite back onto it in time, so we're going 10-5. rapha's starting to feel the revenge from map 1 to try and tie up the series.
Yeah, the anger from rapha from that last game. He knew it could have gone either way for him. And it's definitely redemption. Full redemption if he takes the series, but it's still a long way ahead. As rapha is just trying to chase down dramis, find out exactly where he is. We'll find him soon enough. We've got a glimpse of him there. Gets the first rocket done. The LG comes out. It's going to lead the Mega for after the battle, but will decide to take it anyway a bit sooner than expected.
Can almost think about victory lap now, rapha. Just going to find him. dramis doesn't have much to work with. I genuinely think dramis would be winning this map if he didn't mistime the heavy as he tied the game up. I think it was 5-5 at that point. He had the map, or at least a clear path towards it. He would have needed, rapha would have needed to really create something super special to get back into it. But rapha's just so consistent with those timings. That's something that never escapes his mind.
But that just proves that even the smallest of mistakes like that can cause a massive impact, especially against a player against rapha now. And again, 8 kills. Lead way. Nothing dramis can do here. At this point, he's got to think about that map number 3 and just take this on the chin for the time being.
Yeah, this is rapha's map pick as well. So, considering it was so damn close at that point, and as you say, tiny little details, something small like that can have a big, big impact. It does mean that we'll eventually go over to Awoken to determine what is going to happen. But rapha is going to be making sure that he's locking down some points this evening, or this afternoon for him. And that he is making positive strides on the leaderboard. Which, well, dramis is doing anyway.
He is, yeah. He's trying to get that last frag on the board, which he does. It will end 15-5 in favour of rapha. That was definitely a redemption map rapha desperately needed. But it's not all out yet. It's still 1-1 in the series.
It is, and well, can dramis push it a level further? I think he's probably going to be lightly tapping himself on the head just to remember some of those timings, because he was playing at a very high level in the way that he commits to fights and decides not to commit to fights. It's something that I've seen from a lot of the upcoming players, that when they find an opportunity, they feel like they can't let it go. And sometimes you have to let it go, because otherwise you risk losing that control afterwards, and you risk allowing the players to put themselves into a better position. And now I feel like dramis has been studying his VODs a lot, doing a lot of deep dive analysis on his work, and it's paying dividends at the moment.
I think the key factor for him is what he used to do was chasing kills. Like, you know, it's not that he would force an engagement or try and force an advantage. When you chase kills like that, you could be going for a little bit more stack whilst flanking at the same time. It's a lot more charismatic ways to actually get through those kind of scenarios. And I do understand why dramis does it. I'll have to explain that later on. But it's definitely a trait he's picked up somewhere, and I know where he's picked that from. But
you think?
It's oh yeah, definitely. I know exactly where he's picked up from. But it's very difficult, to say the least, to try and stop yourself to say, right, I'm not going to chase these kills. Let's go for some of the health wolves and get, increase that stack a little bit. Maybe even prepare for the next pickup whilst flanking at the same time. There's so many different things he can do, but I'm glad that he's done the research and the prep, knowing that some of those mistakes he made about the chasing the frags is actually a major fault in his gameplay, and it's turned him into a changed person, I believe.
It does, and he's got very solid mechanics too. You don't need to aim like Tox to be able to play at this level. Obviously it helps, but when your decision making is better than your aim, then you can take maps off Rapha. You can do some absolutely stunning things. As long as you can, play the odds at some point and you've got down those fundamentals, you can do a lot of things. But it's being able to get down the theory, being able to apply it in the game. If it was easy, we'd all be doing it. But it's when you're mastering it like
true.
these guys that it looks so astonishingly good. So we're left with one map, guys. We're moving over. I did just say the map that it was as well. Was it Awoken? Thank you.
That's all right. My pleasure.
We're going to Visor and Nyx, becoming a bit more of a classic matchup. I'll probably keep saying that for several more years. It is going to be Nyx on Rapha. He's playing his third light champion of the evening. Visor is going to be played by Dramis. It's a pretty tight matchup. Mobility definitely favors Nyx, but Visor, when you've got that piercing sight, there's a lot of attacks that you can create, which can maybe go unanticipated. So we're certainly going to have to see who's going to pick up those early advantages. So far it's been Rapha in both maps, but we're 1-1, so is it going to matter straight away?
No 3-0s today.
No 3-0s.
That is absolutely astonishing. In 7 series, that is
first. Is that a first, actually? I know that we've got Genic and Effortless postponed, but it's just news just in. It is our first show that we've had where everything is 2-1. So, hats off to all the players. And to all of us and all of you watching for witnessing all of this. Guys, Rapha and Dramis, last map here. Quake Pro League, Week 4. We're on Dramis.
As we can see here, straight away we'll be going for that heavy. Play it quite patiently here, knows exactly where Rapha is, but what is going to be his next move. Rapha decides to push, but see, Dramis was actually waiting for him there. Somehow, some way. Well, just get out, but at least get one more round off before he gets away. He will not. And Rapha will stay back a little bit. Sadly, does miss that rail as well. Wasn't really too prepared for it as he was going through, but Rapha is chipping the damage away.
There's been some good reads from Dramis. He's generally known exactly where he's floating about, but this is a push from Rapha. He can't get himself onto the heavy in time. Rapha was too quick, and although he was good on the anticipation before, not good enough then.
Is the way he caught him off guard. When he jumped out in a straight line, and that was an easy frag for Rapha. And as I say that, already a second one within the 1 minute mark on the board. What can Dramis do here to try and at least make things level pegging?
I mean, yeah, this has been the trend for the entire series, though. But Dramis is always keeping his head in the game and always making at least one big effort at a comeback. So I'm expecting it somewhere along the lines here. Dramis has got a heavy right behind. He's dealt some okay damage. Gets the rocket jump up. Oh, Rapha still escapes. Not too badly. Oh no!
Oh my goodness! If there was a rail you wanted to have, that was definitely the one. And you saw there, Rapha run out of NG ammo at the time.
But he also used a Ghost Walk, is the thing. He used a Ghost Walk and that couldn't save him at all. I don't know if Dramis knows that he's not got the Ghost Walk. Rocket jump up. Oh, Rapha didn't fall for the bait. He kept his position sturdily.
That was an absurd play.
Doing that
Dramis.
to Rapha as well. I can't imagine the amount of times that's happened. Oh, that rail, you've got to be hitting those shots. That's much harder angle on the side there.
But I like it though, even though he's missing the shots, he's keeping the pressure on. He's letting Rapha know, I know exactly where you are and your whereabouts and where you're going to be going to next. So even though he misses a couple of shots, he's showing that map presence there as we go in. You can see with that piercing sight, we'll be going straight in, gets the first rail off. He's going to probably go for the second, but he's going to go for the LG, but just manages to get away. The amount of health Rapha has, Dramis is desperate to try and gun him down.
I think he's going to find him in a second. That rocket, not too bad. He's shown where he's floating around. There's going to be the mega health up shortly. There's still no... Okay, another rail. Still no Ghost Walk, is what I wanted to say. He's going to go for another peek. There is a light armor available. And it won't be third time lucky.
But I love this though from Dramis. He's just keeping the pressure on. It's giving me kind of deja vu for map number 1, and this is exactly what he needed. It's just a matter of time. As long as he keeps that pressure on and suffocate Rapha as much as he can, then he should be okay. Great LG from him, taking him down to possibly around 60 HP. is going to get away, and Dramis at least is keeping an eye on the pickups and making sure he's keeping it well controlled and it's well timed as well.
It does seem like his focus, which I really like. He's really trying to make sure that he's spending at least 5 seconds plus per rotation, getting good focus on doing damage to rapha. But those items are the priority. Rapha trying some slick tricks. Rocket has got a chance for a kill, but there's going to be the Ghost Walk out, getting rid of a couple of these hourglasses that now spotted where rapha is. Rocket's not too bad, and there's the kill to tie it up. We have got the mega health. He has to watch out a little bit.
That rail was so close. I think he kind of got a little bit carried away there, not noticing how stacked he actually was. He was only on 50 HP, 50 armor, but as I say that, nice rails from rapha. And then to get to heavy, to complement things further. And what is rapha going to do now? He has a good idea of exactly where Dramis is and is going to try and flake round. Yes, he does. Great rail from him.
With that last kill, Dramis took the risks, being railable, desperately trying to get heavy. That, to me, feels like he's going back to old ways. Rapha, I mean, he's usually Mr. Consistent, right? He's going to be able to punish you for making moves like this. It's not optimal, he would probably say.
Yeah, rapha had earlier 3 rails in a row. Chipping the damage at Dramis. And look how stacked rapha is. At least Dramis got one of his own, so he's not in a particularly bad state here. But he's gunning for him, knows exactly where he is. But so does Dramis. The LGs do come out, and who's going to be on top? It will be rapha once again, increasing his lead slowly but surely.
And we've got the mega health up. Dramis a little bit of a mistime. We're seeing those kind of wobbles in play happening, but we know what potential is there. Whereas for rapha, it's been full recovery from map 1. Recovery on Corrupted Keep was incredibly good. We saw a lot more about what rapha's about. And are we about to see him take it away a little bit more? Well, Dramis had good information up there, of course. Oh, he does find a cheeky rail. And I think he's going to think about attacking this mega health. He has found it, but it's perfect timing from rapha. I think Dramis had it too, but he couldn't push him off of the item at all. And now Rocket, Ghost Walk forced out, a second until Heavy's up.
Oh my goodness, what a direct rocket from Dramis.
Square between the eyes.
Oh my goodness, and as we were saying, they weren't too sure how Dramis was going to try and make some leadway for himself. But with a rocket like that, keep him coming, Dramis, and I'm sure a comeback could be in the palms of your hands. And as I say, that has that top center control, drops down. Dramis just missed that one rail, but is so weak here, he needs to back down. And rapha knows this, he's going to wait for him, and great rocket from him, great game sense as well.
Yeah, perfectly done from rapha. Nice little nail jump as well to get himself across to mega position. And now, can he just keep that focus, keep that discipline going for the last 4 minutes? Get himself that 2-1 and ensure that there is no defeat, full series defeat, should I say, taking place for him today.
But still, only 3 frags behind. And Dramis has still got 3.5 minutes to work for him. Sadly, does miss that rail. Tries to go for the LG fight, but tried to miss another rail, sadly. But, of course, rapha is going to go straight in. He's going to chase him around a different angle. Will he get the rail? Yes, he will, making matters worse for Dramis. Again, 7-3.
A lot of work to do for Dramis. He's got the shotgun, and he did a ton of damage there. rapha knew he had to finish the job fast. That last blast out could have been it for him. Wow. Oh my god, closing out the rockets. And Dramis, maybe, is he out of steam now? It could be. His level of focus throughout this series has been huge. He may have blown a couple of expectations already out of the water, being able to take a map off him, but you know what? We saw such a great performance from him last week. Saying more and more, saying that anything's possible for him. There's results like this that are going to take him to that next tier of play, as he is a threat to everybody in the Quake Pro League. But rapha, he's just doing what he does best now.
Pretty much now making it playground work, and with 2 minutes and 10 left remaining, there's only so much Dramis can do. To get 8 frags against someone like rapha in this kind of situation is unheard of, and as I'll say that 9 now. rapha playing with his food at this point in time, and I think Dramis, around 7th, 8th frag for rapha, you can kind of tell that his mentality just went straight down.
Yeah, I think sometimes you feel burnt out from a series, you know. Because when you are growing into a scene like that, and I'm talking as if Dramis has been around for no time at all. He's been around and he's been playing with the big boys, especially in America, for some time now. But he's still got to climb the ranks. When you go versus someone like Rapha, you've got to put that intense level of focus in.
It's the level of consistency you've got to bring throughout the course of a series. It gets to a point where when you feel that your opponent has lacked a little bit in some areas, it gives you a full boost of confidence and makes your aim actually better with that confidence in terms of gun skill. But now, 14-3 in favour of Rapha. He's just not making things anything better for Dramis here. And he will pull back. Only a minute 5 left remaining. It's all but done here. Unless Dramis want to try and find some frags on the board. But as I say that, Rapha again with that stack up. Dramis trying to fight back. Not going to happen. Again, another great rail from Rapha once more.
Dramis kind of wants to keep fighting anyway because he kind of has to if he wants to bring it closer. So it's a sort of catch-22 in a way. You want to be more aggressive because you want to catch up the big frag lead, but then the frag lead gets bigger because you're being consistently aggressive. So after it gets to a sort of 6 frag advantage, you can frequently see it snowball like this, just based on the follow-up strategy you have to take anyway. But it's been, I think it doesn't talk about the story of the first half. And I think both Corrupted Keeper and this map have been similar. Good first half from Dramis, but he's not been able to keep himself in the game in the second half just the same way. He'll still certainly be remembering positively what happened on Ruins.
He just needs to remember that he had a close series against Dahang and he managed to take a map of Rapha. So the work he's putting in has actually been okay, it's been fine, and it shows improvement. But that is going to be GG's from both these players. Rapha does take the series 2-1. And all fairness, it was more than what we expected. I think we did expect more of a Dramis going down 3-0. So it's nice to see that we've seen a lot of improvement from him.
He was fighting the whole way, really. If he went down, he still was going for it. Still gunning for it, still gunning for it. And that's absolutely admirable. The thing is, he also had to do that, losing out on frags at the beginning of every single map. If he can be the one to not make that early error or slight misjudgment, or is able to find that extra clutch shot in order to get those first frags, then suddenly the game changes for him quite a lot against players like Dahang and particularly Rapha here.
And this is the good thing about the Quake Pro League. You've got plenty of weeks to kind of fix your mistakes. Like that one, but I think that was a little bit of potluck there. But again, it was a great rail to get him off the map. But yeah, with the Quake Pro League, you've got plenty of weeks, plenty of matches, and plenty of opportunities to try and make a lot of improvements from all the VOD research you have. And that's why you see players like Base, come out of the woodwork. As Bo has been, a long-term player, has been doing very well, but we're seeing a lot of improvement from him. And same with Dramis. So who would have expected to take both Dahang and Rapha to a map 3?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's been so much to talk about just today and everything that we've been getting. You mentioned about Base. I don't think that many people have expected him to take the series off Kilson. We see him play at a high level frequently, but he's never really closing out the series against the biggest of dogs. But this last couple of weeks, he's been having such a good time. And, I mean, other games that stand out, Avek versus Toxic that we started with, I mean, we got off to a brilliant start anyway. Dewey was playing amazingly versus Waz. Hron and Cooler was just a hilariously fun series anyway. I mean, we've had it absolutely all today.
I don't think I even have a favourite series. If it edged it, maybe the Venga and Razy series.
Yeah,
every single map, all 3 maps, went 2-1 in favour of Razy. But every map was 1 frag differential compared to both of those players on every single map. You couldn't ask for more, really. And the fact that there's no 3-0s, that's a thumbs up from me.
Exactly. The whole way forward has been insane. And, well, as our highlights still play, as Rapha was just dishing out that much damage here on Awoken. You can see that he managed to get his win right at the end. So congratulations to him. But congratulations to, all the players that we saw today picked up points. Everyone got points.
Yeah, but
sharing is caring.
That is definitely the phrase I'd use, I'd say.
Maybe the people who got 2 maps were like, I don't want to share.
Yeah, but I actually wanted some 3-0s,
Yeah, get some of those 16 points in. Guys, I think we're taking a look at some of the schedules that we had today and everything that took part. Of course, we've got Genic and Effortless that didn't get played today. It has been postponed. Nosfa and Chain, it was actually a pre-recorded match, so I think it happened earlier in the week. We managed to catch it all today and see how close that series was too. And obviously, Avek Tox 1-2, 2-1 to Cooler versus Hron. Yeah, we get to see all the 2-1s. More 2-1s. All of them. Dewey Wise, Kilson Base,
2-1 day
Racy
today.
Venga, rapha, dramis. And I think the 17 frags at the end was the highest fragging game that happened the entire time. I say highest fragging, the highest frag by one player. And Racy Venga is definitely my standout match as well. It was everything that I wanted in life.
Yeah,
all
that's
compact
all I
into
wanted.
3 nice maps.
We actually had 2 matches where all 3 maps were 1 frag difference between. It was Kula and Zeron as well. I literally only just checked that, and that was again just 1 frag difference between all 3.
On all 3 maps? Wow, okay. My memory sucks.
So does mine, so
Yeah,
it's not too
we
bizarre.
had it all there, so it was all good. We had everything done for us. So, yeah, that's been absolutely brilliant. Want to remind people, actually, we've got some leaderboards, so I'll remind people about this in just a second. Let's take a look at what the global ranks are looking like. Of course, rapha is up at the top, but I want to look down a little bit as we see Dewey. He's kind of stepping quite far ahead of what he was doing before, as he had recently just qualified to get into the QPL. He's been doing amazingly, as Waz is kind of left behind for the moment. But 1 point between Venga and Racy. I think that's what stands out a lot to me at the moment. Cooler's also pushed out of the top 4, so another point separate. 2 points separate those 3 players.
And because Kilson didn't get as many maps as earlier, rapha extends his lead by 10 points, and it's only going to be more depending on the circumstances of his next matchups here. But Venga and Racy, to save it is 1 point difference between both those players. We saw that, and we could clearly see why.
Yeah. And we've got that sort of the different pelotons kind of being established here. Venga, Racy, Cooler together. Dahang not too far. Kelson and then rapha in their own sort of leagues at that stage. Then you see Saigib down to Tox are kind of within the same realm in their own kind of like sub pelotons.
Yeah, they're in their own little brackets right now.
Yeah.
I feel like, you've Base consistently securing that top 8. The last 2 series has definitely helped him jump up thoroughly, especially with the 3-0 against Cypher last week, and this week now with the 2-1. It's just helping himself more and more, and I'd love to see players like him make a considerable amount of improvement and really show that the amount of grinding has paid off, especially for Venga, Racy, and again, of course, Base.
Yeah, definitely. But there's so much left of this stage to work with. So knowing exactly what top 4 is going to look like in 6 match weeks from now it's super hard to tell. But I know that Venga was chasing that top 4 so hard before we got over to Luca. And now he can see that, well, now it's about holding my position and gaining more ground on those players that are in front of me. Dahang, Kelson, rapha, watch out is what he's thinking. But Racy, he snuck in last time round in stage 1 just for subbing out Dahang. So many different things happening. And now I can get to my reminder, guys, because we've also got the challenges taking place. We've had several weeks of plays going on there. There is going to be more next weekend, so make sure you check out on the Faceit website on the Quake Pro League, where you can find the Challenger League matches. And also, Lethal, next week is Christmas week here in the Faceit studio for the Quake Pro League. It's the last week of matches for Quake Pro League until the end of the year. Until next year, sorry. There I can talk.
Well, it's the end of 2019, but we've got plenty more in 2020 to come. That's anyway, true. For the just for that Christmas special to end things off nicely.
Yeah, have you enjoyed your show today? Have you had fun?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a Quake show like this, and it's been great. Nice to see some of the old guards from the back in the day and some of the new players now really shining out and being the stars of the show here. And you saw, I spoke before about with Racy and Venga, really showing what they're worth over the last couple of years, like we spoke about beforehand. And it's been very good. Been very happy with it, especially with the match results.
Oh, absolutely. Well, guys, we are moving towards the end at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Quake Pro League. You've been watching Stage 2. We'll be back next week. See you later.